Such a beautiful, bright, and sunny day. Yes, here in Zone 5, we all love this weather. But the only thing that we don't love is collecting heaps and heaps of leaves. Yes, post fall, and as soon as the snow melt, the first thing that we do in our lawns is collect huge heaps of leaves. And some of us get tired of baggaging those leaves and then wait for the garbage collection day where we can just throw away like 6 bags of leaf and 5 bags of leaf. But today's video, I'm going to tell you how you can easily get rid of those leaves and feed your plants and soil with that leaf. Yes, so let's get into that. Stop being tired to collect these dry leaves. With abundance of trees around, fall and spring is the cleanup time for most of us here in Zone 5. And part of that cleanup that is most exhausting and unwanted is collecting heaps and heaps of leaves. Here, due to city bylaws, we cannot just leave them like that. We have to bag them and dispose them properly unless we have some other use of it in mind. However, if I tell you that these heaps of leaves is not garbage to be disposed, instead you are collecting gold, would you believe me? You have to. As firstly, this gold is not available in most of your big box garden centers. And secondly, even if it is available, it is as costly as real gold. However, you can have it for free if you value its availability and importance. In most countries, especially in large cities where there are no trees left in the residential areas, having access to abundant supply of leaves is a dream for the home gardeners who know how beneficial they are for our plants. Some of them even pay to get 1 bag of dry leaves as they know what benefits they can add to their soil. Yes, look at this. It is a heap of black gold for your garden. If you would have known the benefit of using it in your garden, you wouldn't let a single leaf fly away from your garden. In gardening world, it is known as leaf mold, but the question arises, how to make it? It is the easiest natural soil amendment ever one can make on this planet Earth. Yes, all you need is heaps of dried leaves, water, and a place to decompose them. Leaves are for free, water is free, I'll tell you how, and space is also free. Use a lawnmower to just mow your leaves. The bag in the mower will collect the shredded leaves for you. Keep emptying that bag in the large garbage bag like this and fill them tightly. Alternatively, if you have large enough space in your garden, just make a pile of these shredded leaves. Another way is to just dump them in your raised beds. As you can see, I also do that. The leaves that I had dumped in the fall has now converted into this precious leaf mold without me doing much. I personally use both ways. I collect them in bags and just leave them in the corner of my garden, and I also dump them in raised beds. Now comes the watering part. As I dump my leaves in the bags and beds, they have access to free rainwater and snow all year round on its own. I just water them once in the beginning and then I just leave them open in the corner, and voila, by the time the growing season starts, I have a batch of leaf mold ready. The more access it has to moisture and air, faster is the process of decomposition without doing much effort, as the process depends on the fungi to work its magic. Leaf mold is the best natural fertilizer for your plants. It is the best soil amendment as it maintains the porosity and keeps the soil lighter, thereby providing a good habitat for beneficial microbes and worms that are required to keep the soil alive. It is so light and cool natural fertilizer that you can start even your seedlings straight in the substrate. By adding them as mulch to your raised bed, You have started the process naturally in the growing season itself. Every time I start my pots, I start filling them with layers of dried leaves and kitchen waste a month prior to the actual start of the growing season. I continue to do so until they are full. Same practice I follow for my raised beds too. As soon as the soil is workable, I start adding kitchen waste in them so they also have both kitchen waste and the dried leaves in them. Look at this pile. I dumped all the used soil from the last season's pot and layered it with more dried leaves. If you are using the pile or bin method, cover your pile with a plastic trap. This will keep the leaves more consistently moist and warm. In the raised beds, I just leave them as is. The material that I added in the pots in the last season has completely decomposed by now. Since I have started the pile in the lawn, it has attracted beneficial worms to it, making the breakdown of the material faster. As you can see how alive is the soil now. I use this method for all my pots. I continue to add layers of dried leaves and kitchen waste until the top 2 inch of the space is left. I start this process a month before I have to start the garden so that the waste that I have added is half decomposed by the time I plant the seedlings in them. Once the material in the bin start reducing, I will add this soil as well to my pots as one of the top layer. And once I am ready to plant the seedlings in them, I will add the fresh layer of garden soil as the top layer. Because leaf mold doesn't contain as much nitrogen as compost, you will still want to add compost. But if you follow this hack of mine, you actually don't need to add anything to your soil until your plant starts bearing fruit. Since these pots that I have filled up with the kitchen waste and leaves in them and a layer of soil, of course, they are deemed to reduce. They will reduce in size. They will just keep going down and down until I keep them and I keep filling them with more waste until the top 2 inch of layer is left. So since they are going to break down and release the compost tea from the bottom, I don't want to waste that thing. So I have lined them up all in my raised beds so that whatever compost tea is leached out of these pots stay in the beds and nothing is going to wet waste. So I will just continue to keep doing the process until I actually start the seedlings in them. And that's it. By the time you start your growing season, you don't have to add any fertilizer or any compost at the start of the season. As you can see, I'm still adding waste from kitchen and the layers of paper and dried leaves in my bins. I just added in this pot yesterday. Look at these beds. Don't they look gorgeous? As if I've actually added black gold in them. Use leaf mold as a substitute for peat moss because, unlike peat moss, leaf mold is a renewable resource. Because leaf mold can hold up to 500 times its own weight in water, it makes an excellent mulch. Leaf mold also opens up the soil and act as a natural soil conditioner. As it makes the soil lighter, it's easier for the roots to grow. Leaf mold not only makes it the best soil amendment in your garden, but it is also an excellent choice of substrate for all your seedlings, houseplants, and bonsai trees. Instead of throwing out your leaves now, you pile them up, wet them down, and make your free leaf mold. It is a precious possession for your garden. So start doing now if you haven't started doing yet. If you don't want to take too much of hassle of collecting and bagging, at least use the leaf as a leaf mulch in your beds. So it was so easy. All you had to do was, instead of baggaging those leaves and throwing them into the garbage, all you have to do is just put those bags in a corner and forget it. Or if you have space, just make a hoop and collect those leaves and forget it. in 6 to 9 months, till the time the next growing season starts, you have your black gold ready. So do that if you also have tons and tons of leaves to collect. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.